Hi, welcome to our first springtime edition. It's not really spring yet, but I'm confident that it will be soon. And the rest of the world seems to know it's coming because the bulbs are sprouting in front of the shelter, and we had 11 kittens born over the last day. Please get your pet spayed or neutered. If it's feral, you can still do that, and we have grants that will help you do that. It's really important to us. It isn't a direct ratio as people think it is, reduce the number coming into the shelter by every cat that's spayed, but it helps, and it also helps the cat. And so it would be saving a lot of suffering in the long run if you would please have your pet or pets that you come in contact with and can help get it spayed or neutered. Neutering is really important because one tomcat can cause an awful lot of babies. Okay, we're going to talk about some different kinds of pets first. I want to introduce you to Larry the canary. Larry is unusual because he is a white canary, and instead of having some very fancy name for white canaries, he is known as a recessive white. Now, isn't that fun? He's a lot more fun than that, though. Larry is just a good little guy. He even let me trim his toenails this morning. He wasn't happy about it, but he couldn't do much either. Larry doesn't sing an awful lot, but he does spend a good bit of time muttering to his companion in the mirror, and he has a very soothing little sound. In my office, he has a heating panel that's in back of his cage, and so he spends more time in the other mirror where there's more heat, but he is comfortable there too. These guys came from the Canary Islands, aren't you surprised? Off the coast of Africa, and the wild canaries that came from there don't look much at all like the canaries that we see that are captive. These little guys now come in bright red and brown and with fancy weird feather configurations like the Norfolk and curly canaries like the Swiss frill. Very interesting genetics in this little bird, but I appreciate them just because I think they're just very cool pets. They're small, they're portable, they're companionable. I have known canaries that will sit in your hand and be very happy there. I think Larry would, given some time in a less confusing environment than the shelter. And these guys need grit, they need a calcium source. Sometimes I put a cuddle bone in with them, but that would keep you from being able to see him very clearly. So I didn't today. He eats pelleted food, which is best for him, and he does get greens every now and then. He's not real crazy about them, to be honest with you, but I keep giving them to him because eventually he will learn to eat them. And they're good for him, just like they are for kids, They're good for you. You have to learn to eat them. Anyway, this is Larry the canary. Larry came with this wonderful cage, which I think is just an engineering wonder. I really love it, but it is his home. And so he would go with this cage as well, or at least with everything that he came with. He didn't have a mirror when he came, and he loves his mirror. So I think that's something that would be absolutely essential for this little bird. They're really birds that would like to have an additional bird with them, and they're flock creatures, really. And so he may not sing as much, but he will be a happier bird if he has a companion, or at least what he thinks is a companion. This is a spayed female kitty, a domestic short hair, and she has that wonderful behavior where she licks. I just find that particularly attractive in a cat. When they groom themselves, they groom you too. If you settle down for a book with the cat in your lap, then you're going to get a bath too. And it's just a very calming kind of thing. Anyway, this little girl is very sweet, very loving cat. She came to us as a stray, and so although I'm sure she has a name, we don't know what it is, and she would probably be more than happy to answer to whatever it is that you would like to call her, but she really needs a home for that to happen. And so it would be a very good thing if you could come adopt her. You know, people tend to overlook black cats. It's often that any dark-colored animal is not adopted quite as frequently, they say, as light-colored ones are. I don't think that that's true in the long run, but in the short run, I do know that people tend to pay more attention to the ones that are lighter colored. But as is often the case, they have a wonderful personality. And if you're looking for personality in a cat, then this would be an excellent choice for you, because she's a very, very nice cat. This is Ash. Aptly named, as you can see, because he is the color of ashes. At the shelter, we often know when something is going on with the military, because when we have lots of families relocating, then we end up with pets. And that's the case with this one. His family had to relocate, and while I know many families are able to take their pets with them, not all families get to relocate where both people are going to the same place. So in this case, they could not. Ash is 7 years old. He came to us as a Russian blue. I'm not sure that he's actually a purebred. I didn't see any papers, and he is neutered, but I do know that he's a wonderful cat. As you can see, he really loves attention. He's a big, heavy-boned cat. He's not a very lithe, slender dude, but he does have a coat that has a lot of potential. I think with good nutrition, he's going to be absolutely beautiful. One thing I need to mention about Ash is that he really hates children. I know that isn't an attractive trait in a pet, but he's such a nice cat that I feel sure there is some family out there that does not have young children that would really like him. Now, he's fine with teenagers. Anyway, great choice. This is Pepsi. Pepsi is a spayed female. She is a declawed cat, and so she would have to be completely indoors. I give her lots of points for being both declawed and not frightened. She is fine with this condition, and that's not the case usually in a shelter. Declawed cats tend to do all right as long as they remain in their own home. The problem is that when a declawed cat is not in its familiar environment and anything changes, they are not always able to make that change with it. And so there can be some real problems then. We really, if you have cats existing in the home, it's not a great idea to take on a declaw. If you have a willingness to adopt 2 cats at the same time, I would go with a very young male kitten to be a companion for her. Pepsi is a very confident, easy care cat, though, and of course an indoor cat, and that's just fine. Cats that are indoor only or have arrangements made for their safety in an outdoor area are very happy campers. Yes, I like Pepsi. She's a nice, chunky cat and very cuddly. So particularly if you have a situation where you need a declawed cat, like you have elders in the family who have fragile skin or an invalid or something of that sort, I would recommend that you consider her. I would not necessarily recommend a declawed cat with young children. Even though she might get along with it, a declawed cat's first reaction to protect itself is to bite. And there are far more dangerous bacteria in a cat's mouth than there are on its paws. So not a good idea from that perspective. This little girl came to us because she was thrown from a car. Her jaw was broken, and so she's been with us for quite a long time recovering. She is a remarkable survivor. She is probably not going to get any bigger, even though she is at this point around 6 to 7 months. She is pretty hard on scratching surfaces or anything that is fine leather is gonna die around her. So if you have really nice furniture that you're worried about protecting, don't adopt this kitten, okay? Because I don't want to see her declawed. It would be a disservice. She's been thoroughly spoiled by the staff because she had to be hand-fed, clearly, because of her broken jaw. And yes, we're not going to let it go. Anyway, this lovely little cat is available for adoption. She is healthy and snuggly and would make a great companion. Again, she plays really rough, so we don't really recommend toddlers or very young children. Junior high age would be great, or depending on the family. You know your family better than I do. In my family, having a roughhousing cat was no big deal, and my kids and myself always had scratches somewhere. But in families where this is a very scary thing, then you would not want this kitty. She's a calico. She's a Duluth calico, and they do typically come with a personality that's a little more I won't say outgoing because that's not quite it. More cat-like than other patterns. Calicos are either wonderful or they're complete witches. There's not much of a between, although this one kind of is. I think she borders on wonderful. She's just very young. This is Lola. Lola is tons of fun. And you might not think it to look at her, but she can run like the wind. And if she gets out, she will. So Lola needs to be an indoor kitty. She came to us with a full complement of fleas and tapeworm and ear mites, but all of that has changed, and she is a rent-free cat now. Anyway, she is beautiful. She does detest other cats, which is not an unusual thing for a calico. And Lola has one other interesting attribute besides her beautiful coat, her smooshy little face, and her size, and that is that she is a stumpy. She has a puff on the end of her body instead of a tail. And I don't know if she's a true Manx or whether she has some Japanese bobtail in there or exactly what it is. But she was definitely born this way. And I think she's just a terrific cat. Loads of personality. If you had this cat in your bed at night, you might not need blankets, really. She's very large. Hang with us a little longer. We're going to go visit with the dogs, and I know you don't want to miss that. Hi, welcome to the dog portion of Best Friends. This is Harley. Harley is a squirmy little Chihuahua, min pin sort of thing, who is trying to figure out what he is doing in a shelter environment, because he did belong to a family up until 2 days ago. And then, of course, there was the necessity of moving him to the shelter because the family was military and being relocated. This, as I mentioned before, seems to be happening a lot just lately. Anyway, Harley does not like children. This is something that is common in very small dogs. If they have had a bad experience with any child, they can transfer that to other children, even if the other children are wonderful. So again, a family that has junior high age and up. Also, he does have to have secure confinement, because if he gets out, you'll not get him back. He would be fine in an apartment as long as you have a double door arrangement, you know, a standard door and then a screen door. Yes, I don't think a baby gate would work with him because he will climb it or sail right over it. Anyway, secure confinement, absolutely necessary. He would make a good indoor dog. He is such a cute little guy. I love the ears. Got good ears, Harley does. Yes, they're rather cold right now. I know, sweetheart. Yes, I know. You're a good baby. Anyway, he is just a lovely little dog. This is Jade. Have you been looking for a hound? Oh, come on, surely you have. This is a walker hound. Jade is awfully thin, but she's also very energetic, and she's gaining weight. Also, and she does have a healthy appetite. She loves treats, which is very good because she will need training. Jade doesn't hunt, so if that's what you're interested in, this is not a good dog. She will, of course, hunt cats, and she will go after squirrels, but that's about the extent of it. And as for formal hunting procedures, she will have none of it. So Jade would make a great family pet. I think she'd make a great jogging companion, except for the fact that you have to be on your guard because she will go after every cat and every squirrel you pass. So it has to be with a sturdy hand on the leash. Yes, but she does love to run, and she does have a lot of energy and a lot of endurance. Don't you? Yes, look at that beautiful face. I love the eyeliner. That's very nice. Yeah, I wish I had a natural eyeliner like that. Yeah, that's very cool. Yes. Oh, just a good girl. Jade would probably make a great family pet, but the deal with hounds is that they take a heck of a lot more attention than you think they're going to. You can't leave them alone without your neighbors hating you, because they do have that wonderful hound, Bay, and she uses hers frequently. She greets everything, and you don't want her left alone in the backyard. She really kind of needs to be with someone most of the time. Yes. This is Maggie. Maggie is 7 months old. She is a lab and something mix, and she is already spayed. She was a member of a military household, and once again, her owners were reassigned, and so Maggie couldn't stay with them. And I think she is a delightful dog. Now, actually, I think this is the dog you want if you do have kids. And of course, we always recommend bringing all members of the family down before you consider adopting a dog. But she's the right age, she's the right makeup, and I think she has a lovely temperament. She's curious, not much more than a baby herself. She's eager to learn. She's an eager eater, and that's a good thing. She has an easy care coat. She has a lot of energy, and I think she could keep up with a young family. And she's very playful. Don't know how she does with cats. That's something, if you have a cat already in your family, you would definitely want to check that. She is just kind of interested in any touching that is something that's off her radar. You'll notice as I stroke down her body, she really wants to check out what's going on there. But that's easy enough to accommodate. Yes, it is. Anyway, a good choice. Not even particularly mouthy for a 7-month-old. And really loves attention. Yes, it does. This is Muppet. We think Muppet may be a Griffon mix. We're not totally sure. Or maybe she's a Griffon and just has dubious breeding? We don't know. Anyway, Muppet is a wonderful dog. She's not feeling very well today, but the vet's already looked at her, and aside from a little sore throat, she's fine. She's a couple of years old, and she is a perfect dog for a small home. She is quiet. In fact, sometimes we think she's a little too quiet. She needs to be encouraged to exercise. She does well enough on a leash that that would be an excellent option. She's just a great little dog. And she does have a remarkable little face. Don't you think she really looks more like a monkey than a dog? I love her. Actually, the whole staff loves her. And she spends most of her time at the front desk. She would have to go to a non-smoking household because she is a little sensitive to that sort of thing. She's really cute. How can you resist that? Really. Muppet is the last dog that we have to show you today. Come back and visit us next month. And in the meantime, this is the part of the year that's very unsettled. We may start to have fairly warm days and then have them cool off to 30-degree nights. And so be very sure that your pets have current immunizations. Don't forget that the rabies requirement is now a law in Washington, and all your dogs, cats, and ferrets must be rabies immunized. Also, be sure that the other immunizations cover things like kennel cough and that sort of thing that dogs can catch if they're stressed. Changes in weather can stress pets much more than you realize. Another thing is to be sure that you're consistent with their food, that they have adequate food and exercise during the next couple of months, and then maybe you can skate some during the summer. But in early spring, when it's more difficult for them, you need to make sure that everything is as consistent as you can make it. Yeah, because their whole job is to love us, and our whole job is to take care of them.